All right, Dirty Sports episode 901 live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Los Angeles, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andrew.
Love the t-shirt. Love the long sleeve shirt, I should say.
Yeah. We should have had, we had Tug on last episode. We should have had Maddie on this episode. I feel like Maddie and I should have a Giants-Vikings bet. I think he gave up on his love of Kirk Cousins, but he should still be required to do it for once loving him.
It was the I want to say 2015 season, 2016 playoffs. I think that was it. I want to say, who did they play? I wonder who they played.
That was when he was a Redskin.
I believe we were watching that game together.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact. I believe this.
It's funny. It's funny. That's how long you can go back on this show where I've been her Cousins true thing, and Maddie was not hearing it at the time. Maddie's like, well, you hate him, you just don't like him because he's on the Redskins. And then Maddie was like, you're right, I was wrong. I love Maddie.
Yeah, so it was. Here's a fun fact. Me and my memories on this stuff. I'm pretty sure the Rabble guys were in town in LA, and we were at Finn McCool's on Main Street in Santa Monica.
Yeah, now Jameson's.
Oh, yeah, it's Jameson's now. I forgot that they changed it. Yeah. I believe we were watching that game. I could be wrong, but I believe, yeah. I don't know. I think it was that game, though. I'm pretty sure.
That was the game the Redskins won?
No, they did not win.
No, they did not win. Come on.
They did not win that game. And I believe that was one of your like this is why Cousins sucks moments. I could be wrong. Anyway, you've had a lot of those.
Yeah.
It is crazy to think you went back that far. I don't know. I bet my
eyes do not lie, Andy. My eyes do not lie.
I bet he thinks the Giants are going to win this week.
Love that. I love that for Maddie.
Maddie will adapt.
Yeah.
So the Washington Redskins at the time, because I have to look it up now. Yep, I knew it. It was Green Bay. I was going to say my mind was telling me Green Bay. They lost 35-18 in a 4-5 game. That was at home. Washington had won the NFC East that year. Green Bay was a wild card who smoked them 35-18.
Yeah.
Like, I distinctly remember being in that bar and you just being like, there it is. Fucking Goldberg. He's wrong. He's wrong. Like, I think you were texting him like, dude, admit you were wrong. Kirk Cousins. Like, do you feel if the Giants lose this game, there's vindication for Kirk Cousins stands?
I mean, the Vikings are 13-4. It's in Minnesota. Vikings fans are angry at me at the audacity of suggesting that the Giants might win this game, even though a lot of people are making that prediction. To me, it's a very, very simple situation. It's like, you're 13-4. You're in a down division. You're like, I said, listen, even did I tell Tug he'd get angry tweets? Did I warn him? Did I warn him? And did he get it? And did you see at one point I replied, because you were, there was talk of, I'll bet you this, I'll bet you that, $20 on the Vikings. I love Vikings fans, so confident. Straight up bet. I will repeat to Vikings fans everywhere. And I lost $100 to a Lions fan this year, but I also made $100 from Kyle Aronofsky on the Giants win total over. As far as dirtball bets go this year, I believe I'm even. My stance has always been the same, and I'm opening the bet gates. If any Vikings fan wants to bet me that Kirk Cousins will lead this Vikings team, further than Case Keenum led his Vikings team, slide in my DMs, get my mentions. All you got to do is get to the Super Bowl. So you guys are believers. All I hear is you're a hater. You're 13-4, guys. You got a home game. You're all believers. The DMs are open. Straight up, 50, 100, 200. Kirk Cousins can lead the Vikings team further than Case Keenum could. My DMs are open. My mentions are open.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute.
Yeah.
Isn't it easy for you, though, to say, hey, they're 13-4. They should beat the Giants. They're the division champs. They won 13 games. They're at home.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do, you're like, that's your, hey, they should have. That's why they did. But then if the Giants win, you're like, told you so.
Oh, listen, there's multiple.
You see what I'm saying?
There's multiple things at work here. The Giants aren't going to beat the Vikings on Sunday because of Kirk Cousins. He's one reason that they could. The Vikings will never win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins because of Kirk Cousins. There's multiple things at play here. The Giants have a better coach. The Giants don't have Kirk Cousins. The Giants blitz regularly, and Kirk Cousins is the worst starting quarterback against the blitz. There's a lot of things at work here, but the bottom line is it's still the NFL. Like, we know any given Sunday, I believe that the Giants can win this game. I believe the Giants will win this game. A lot of people believe the Giants will win this game. There's a lot of talking heads out there talking about it. And I guess the question is, if the Giants are 9-7-1 and the Minnesota Vikings are 13-4, why is anybody even talking about this as a potential upset?
Well, we know the answer. Their
defense stinks and their quarterback suspect.
Basically.
Yeah. But the bottom line is, this has already been a winning Giants season for Giants fans. We're in the playoffs. First year, new coach in the playoffs. By the way, hilarious response from yet another delusional Vikings fan. We have a first-year coach too, was a reply I got the other day. What? Dude, it's only because you fired Mike Zimmer who got you to the fucking NFC Championship game. You're not a rebuilding team. You're 13-4. And by the way, if you are, well, then congratulations. Good luck with your rebuild.
Were you watching the game?
I'll probably watch the Giants game at home. I have a Sunday night show at 7:00 in Santa Monica. So I think Giants game at home, possibly over to Santa Monica to Randy Ruther's Bengals watch party after that, and on to my show.
Is he doing a watch party?
Yeah, at the old brick and mortar.
How turnt is he going to be?
Yeah, I'll probably be drunk before, he'll probably black out before it even starts.
What percentage of Bengals games of the last 2 years do you think Randy remembers? Like, if I said there's a 4-quarter game, is he remembering half?
I think he's rewatching the games the next day and then acting as if he's remembering.
You're right.
No, I know. I remember that.
Well,
I can't wait. There's a text coming through any second now. How dare you?
I'll be at the game.
Wild.
So Gold Star has said, "Hey, man, by the way, they've been great. After what happened with us, I mean, they said go back to the club seats for the Ravens game, and I was like, I'll just watch from home." Or last week's regular season Ravens game, and then they were like, "Hey, man, you want to go back to the club seats?" And at first I was like, I don't know, And then I was
Are
like,
they aware of the Andy Ruther curse? That's the big question. Like,
well, that's the thing.
This is a wild
move. So the last Bengals home playoff game I went to.
But let's go through. I mean, last Bengals home playoff game you went to. Then you went to the Niners game last year, correct? Then you went to the Damar Hamlin game this year.
The Chargers game.
The Chargers game. Did they win that?
No.
When was the last time you were at a winning Bengals game? And was the quarterback Boomer Esiason? Was Chris Collinsworth in roster?
That's a legit good question.
Oh my God. Does Gold Star even know what they've done?
You're right.
They're like, you did such a good job with the tweeting. Well, enjoy your one football game in the playoffs of tweeting. You sent the man to take down the king.
I'll be there with Jay Lloyd. Jay Lloyd's my plus
one. The Ruther
one.
curse is so hot, it'll melt Joe Burr.
Dude, that has trap game written all over it. All over it. 8-point favorites. Lamar Jackson's not playing. That has trap game written all over it. I hope Bengals fans know that. Like,
did we do a statistical comparison between Matt Ryan and Lamar Jackson this year? Did we do that just to see where everybody shook out, or how'd that end up?
Ooh, I kind of like this idea.
Did we do that? Serious question though. Would you rather have Tyler Huntley this weekend or Matt Ryan this weekend?
That's a tough one, man.
Tough one. It's a tough one. We know the third choice on that list is Lamar Jackson, right? Because he's unable to play.
All right, let's pull up the old Pro Football Reference for a.
Yeah, you can do player comparison.
Well, can I just do this year?
Yeah, you can.
Well, what are we doing here? Why are we doing the whole stats? Am I too stupid to figure this out?
I got you. Matt Ryan.
While you do that, I'm gonna discuss something. I don't know if he ever wears a Ravens uniform again.
Lamar Jackson?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, he's missed so much. And here's what I find interesting.
Oh, wow.
Because Matt Ryan,
12 games played. They both played 12 games this year.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson completed 62.3% of his passes. Matt Ryan completed 67% of his passes. Lamar Jackson threw for 2,242 yards. Matt Ryan threw for 3,057 yards.
Matt Ryan's got way more interceptions.
Lamar Jackson, 17 TDs. Matt Ryan, 14 TDs. Matt Ryan, 13 interceptions. Lamar Jackson, 7 interceptions. Matt Ryan sacked 38 times. Lamar Jackson sacked 26 times. QB rating, 83.9 for Matt Ryan, 91.1 for Lamar. Yards per attempt, 6.9 for Lamar Jackson, 6.6 for Matt Ryan. Essentially, once again, in the year of our Lord, 2022, nearly identical football players.
It is crazy. Like, Lamar edges him for sure, statistically right there. He's got the nod, but
yeah, completing less percentage for less yards, but more touchdowns and more and less interceptions.
So here's what I keep seeing about Lamar Jackson. And I think in a way he's tweeting this, right? They say Lamar Jackson, if he's not 100%, he can't go, which I find fascinating because I don't know if you saw what Aaron Rodgers said a couple months ago on McAfee. And he's like, look, man, I'm like 70%, but a 70% me, it's basically saying an Aaron Rodgers at a 70%, he's still going to go out there, or a lot of these guys. I think no one's discussing if Lamar has to always be 100%. I would once say what QB is always 100%. These guys get their ass kicked. This is a brutal, violent game.
Brett Favre didn't know it went up to 100.
Exactly.
He didn't know the meter went to 100.
That's got to be concerning, not just for the Ravens or any team that wants Lamar. Like if you're not 100%, which is basically saying if you're removing the running ability, you are not.
By the way, and of course, I'd rather take 80% of Lamar Jackson this weekend than Tyler Huntley. Of course I would.
For sure.
But, again, like it's hard goddamn work being right so much. But I mean, we had a dirt ball running past the call limit on max volume, screaming about Lamar Jackson and Matt Ryan. The bottom line is you got to be on the field. You said trap game, right? For the Bengals. I think the Bengals win this game despite the Ruther curse. But goddamn, if it wouldn't be a tough game if Lamar Jackson was out there. Then it'd be a real trap game, especially since it might be in Baltimore.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. I want you to wear the GM hat right now. You're the GM. You're the guy whoever.
We've already done this. We've done this 100 times for Lamar.
We did it before he got injured again, though. He's been injured.
Yeah, my answer is not changing from not wanting him before he got injured again to wanting
your
him
franchise
after he
tag.
got injured. I'm probably not even franchise tagging him, to be totally honest with you.
What are you doing then? You're just saying we got to try something else.
Listen, to me, it's like, yeah, maybe I'm franchise tagging him, but also what does that really do? I'm franchise tagging him for next year and also figuring out a replacement. But to be totally honest with you, is there value in Lamar Jackson right now? Do the Jets want Lamar Jackson? Do the Raiders want Lamar Jackson? Is there value for him? Because it might be franchise tagging him and then trading him.
Yeah. Here's what's concerning.
Don't get me started. Last year it was the Lamar Jackson, Matt Ryan. Don't get me started if you want to compare Derek Carr's stats this year with Lamar Jackson.
Since his MVP season, he's basically only getting, I don't even know if I want to use do we use the word worse? But statistically and also team wins, it's like I've always said, and I don't want this to be hey, I'm just going to dunk on Lamar Jackson. But since that 2019 MVP season, you look at his numbers, it's like they're pretty much down consistently. Then in 2020 and then 2021, it's I don't know, man. I just think these quarterbacks, again, it's these running quarterbacks. I don't know what Jalen Hurts is like right now as far as health wise. I don't know what that is. To me, that's a question mark. Josh Allen is a question mark.
We'll see who the Eagles end up drawing after this week's games. But I've got a hot take sauteing. It's on low. It's percolating. I've got a hot take sauteing depending on who they draw. I'm not sure the Eagles win a game in the playoffs. And it's part Jalen Hurts' health, but also part the Jalen Hurts' health. Even if he's fine and recover, it's dude, you had weeks off.
But Joe, that's the same argument for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson hasn't practiced in 35 days.
Right.
The notion that if he says I'm playing and I'm healthy, the notion that he's just going to walk into the state. Dude, you even play football.
For sure. But you'd rather have him than Tyler Huntley, and you'd rather have Jalen Hurts, rusty Jalen Hurts over Gardner Minshew.
No Minshew mania. You're out? You don't think you can win a playoff game?
No.
You and Tug, I'll tell you what. I said the Niners were going to wax them. And then I listened to you and Tug, and then I started thinking since that episode. And I've moved to your guys' side.
I think the Niners are going to win. But I'll repeat what I said. Again, I have weird, like, I'm dreaming of a Giants playoff draw, you know? And before I was like, let's say the Giants do get through Minnesota. What if Aaron Rodgers upsets the Niners? And then Aaron Rodgers has to go against the Eagles, and the Giants get to draw a winner of a Cowboys-Bucs game. Let's fucking go, right? Even though the Cowboys, like, you don't love that because the Cowboys have kicked our ass twice. But my point was potential of avoiding teams you don't want to play. And then when the Packers lost, I was like, well, there goes that dream. And then after thinking about it, I was like, I mean, it is a division game. It is Pete Carroll against the Niners. He has a pretty good, track record. I still think the Niners win that game.
Agreed.
I think I've got the Niners in the Super Bowl right now. But I think that of all the games that they can potentially play, this could be the trappiest trap of them all.
Well, the big thing that I keep thinking what Tug said, they have one game against Brock Purdy. So they have that film. They have the capability to make those necessary adjustments. That's huge. I don't think people understand how huge that is. They've already played them. And that's how you
don't have to tell Giants fan Joe Prano, who went into Minnesota on Christmas Eve and got out of there on the miracle in the fourth miracle of Minnesota in the one season, the 61-yarder at the buzzer. I know all about us. We've already played them once. You don't have to tell me how important it is that you already played them once. That's why also, listen, not looking past the Vikings in any way, or even if you look at other teams, the Cowboys-Eagles game, or a Giants-Eagles game, or a Giants-Cowboys game, or a Chiefs-Chargers game that could potentially happen if the Chargers win this week. It's tough to beat teams 3 times.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. The Bengals, man. 3 times, back-to-back weeks. For the record, we've had calls about the Ruther curse. It was a little too fresh for me when that happened.
The Ruther curse in regard to the Hamlin incident?
Correct.
Yeah, it's a little aggressive.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, is it too aggressive now to play the calls?
I don't know. Depends on what they said in the calls. I don't, me, I don't listen to them.
I'm trying to remember what they said in the calls. Which, by the way, I'm just going to say this. I truly believe the fact that Damar Hamlin is out of that hospital, the fact that he's home, I think that is a miracle. Like, I don't think enough people are talking about this. Guys, let's call it what it is. You and I were there. I think it's different for people who were there. He died on the field. Guys, I'm going to call it what it is. His heart stopped beating. Not only is he out of a hospital, he then went to a second one. He's out. He is home. I think, to me, this is a miracle.
I think I've talked about this on the show before, and the only reason I'm not like, oh my God, this is whatever is and Mikey, my brother, is now a listener to the show, but so he'll hear this and he will be able to confirm. A relative of his wife died on the dance floor at their wedding and was brought back multiple times with CPR, and then went on and just like had a regular old life. So it happens. It happens. Your heart stops. It does. People revive you. And then, yeah.
Wait, so this happened to Mikey?
At his wedding.
I can't believe, dude, me and Mikey, talk about another weird connection. My buddy's wedding, where I was a groomsman, this is like 2006. His grandmother-in-law, same thing, keeled over on the dance floor. Same thing, where they're having to do, like, same thing. Heart stopped. They're doing chest compressions. You know, obviously it's a lot different than Damar Hamlin. Older woman, lived as well.
Yeah. And obviously, they're, you know, I forget, I don't know the scientific name for it, if I did, I couldn't pronounce it, but there's a lot of, you know, smart people that are pointing at what happened to Chris Pronger, what happened to whatever, like that. This is, you know, fairly common. I mean, Chris Pronger, I think, played 12 more years in the NHL after that. Like at this point, Hamlin, like being home already. Like, is Hamlin on the team next year?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's awesome. Like, he's home. Yeah. So, fun story about when not really a fun story, but you have to laugh a little. It's dirty sports. When my buddy's grandmother-in-law keeled over, there was luckily multiple doctors and nurses in the wedding party. And if anyone who's seen CPR, like, it's exhausting. And you got to break the ribs. And when you're trying to revive somebody, like, it's not only emotionally exhausting, but physically. At the time, I was a lifeguard. So I was CPR certified.
Yeah.
And I'm probably, I don't know, 15 to 20 Jack and Cokes deep.
Yeah.
And they're going from one doctor.
I got this.
No, so get this. They're going from like a doctor to a nurse to, like, again, like, they're going through people because you get exhausted. And they're on like person number 3 or 4. And another buddy walks over and he's like, dude, are you CPR certified now? This is when I worked, again, let's put in quotes, CPR certified, working in Las Vegas at a pool, a casino pool. He's like, dude, you could be up next. And I just was like, I remember just looking at my drink, my Jack and Coke, and being like, fuck that. Like, dude.
Being like, if I'm next, I'm going to need a couple cheesy crunch wraps. So get yourself to the closest TB. T-Bizzle. You need to go south of the border if I'm going south to this girl's chest bone.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that'd be a great idea. Have Ruther. And that's when I had my Kato Kalin hair. It was like down to here, and it was all like blonde. And I was all like bronze tan for being in the Las Vegas sun every day. Yeah, throw me out there to try to save someone's life. Probably would have started making out with her, done something ridiculously reckless. I would have turned into Squints from
Sandlot.
Yeah, Sandlot. But luckily, she survived. Yeah.
Now that Damar Hamlin, I mean, we were there. We did a long episode. It was tough to watch. It was tough to do the episode on Thursday.
Sure.
Like we tried to do the best we could of, you know, tippy-toeing around it. You don't want to, like, whatever this. But now that he's safe and he's home, can we talk about one thing? When he woke up in the hospital, his first words were, "Where am I?" Right? It wasn't, "Did we win?" I mean, come on. This is the easiest conspiracy deal. His first words, "Did we win?" His first words, not "Why am I not breathing on my own?" Not "Where am I?" Not "Who are you?" Not "Why are you shining a flashlight in my eyes?" Did we win? First words. Did we win? That was his first words. Not "I have to pee." Very first words. Did we win? Come on.
That's a good point.
Come on. Listen, I'm all for the Disney movie here. Listen.
Sure.
Vince Papali didn't look like Mark Wahlberg. You know what I mean? They take creative license. His first words. How about "I'm thirsty"? The dude hadn't had a drink in 3 days. I'm glad he's safe. I'm glad he's fine. His first words were not "Did we win?" They weren't.
I never thought about that, but that is a great point. His first words.
First. What's happening?
Look, I've never been in that position, but I know after having my wisdom teeth taken out, or
You
being
ever, you ever been like drunk and falling asleep while it was still daylight out, and then you wake up and it's night and you have absolutely no fucking idea of where you are in life? You ever fall asleep watching football on a Sunday afternoon? You got the 1 o'clock games on. Maybe you went a little hard on Saturday night. You fall asleep at the end. You wake up. Sunday night football is starting. Your first thought is, where in the world am I?
yeah.
Not who won that Packers game I fell asleep during. Did we win? Come on. I love the story. And I look forward to watching, I look forward to watching it in a Disney movie. But those weren't his first words. Just weren't.
I have thought about this, and I wonder if you have as well. Who's been running his Twitter? Like, what percentage of tweets since he started tweeting again are actually coming from Damar Hamlin or coming from other people?
Who knows?
Because I think some for sure are.
I haven't really looked at it. And listen, I'm such a fan at this point. I think.
It's awesome.
When in doubt, we're all rooting for the Bills.
Oh, for sure.
Like, dude, this is the story of this is I don't know. This is like a miracle story, like you said.
It's amazing.
And so I'm not like looking too far into it, but like you're gone for like 2 days.
First word, did we win? Not, where's my mom? Where am I?
Where am I? I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. And the doctor's, I have a feeling he woke up. He's like, I'm really thirsty. And the doctor's like, you won. You won life.
Well, you know what? And I've never been on a ventilator, but when I had my brain injury and I was really doped up on drugs, right? So I was in the hospital.
You know what my words were when by the way, almost 3-year anniversary to the knee injury to the day. You know what my first words were when I came out? Ah! Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
I wasn't like, did it go well? My back? Fine.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like when I woke up, because they put me on some serious drugs, as you can imagine, they had to reduce my brain swelling and all the stuff that was going on up there. Same thing. I remember I woke up and I was so confused. Dude, I admitted myself to the hospital. Like, I walked into the hospital on my own 2 legs. And then I woke up and was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I remember I grabbed my phone and I checked my voicemail. My mom had already left me a voicemail. Like, I'm on my way. I'm on this and this flight. And I remember being like so confused. She was like, I'm going to.
And then you were like, who won the Pats Dolphins game? My point is, this is simply my point. What a fucking story. Do we need do we need to add to it? We don't need to. It's an incredible all of the true portions of the story are fucking amazing.
I mean, it really is amazing. I do want to bring up the Bills now, though. Something we didn't have time to talk about last episode when we were discussing how like everything played out. The Bills abstained from voting in what was going to happen with the Bengals and the whole home field with the Ravens. I don't know if you saw that. Now, some people argue they abstained because they were involved in it, and that's actually the right thing to do. But most people would argue, and I probably agree with this other side of, dude, all the things the Bengals did for you guys, you abstained, not sided with the Bengals?
And they abstained. The vote was for a coin flip or not a coin flip?
Correct. And also basically saying how it would play out in the playoffs beyond that. Like with the neutral field, with the Chiefs and the Bills. And they abstained. And the Chiefs also abstained. I don't think that makes them better for abstaining. Again, I argue the other side, and I say, dude, the Bengals, like, that was a most brotherhood 2 teams I've ever seen ever in a game. And it was good, and that's a good thing. Yeah. And like, my respect for both coaches is,
I mean, I think it's it's the you can hide behind that, and it's an easy way out. It's just like I'd probably have if I was the Bengals, I probably would have, or if I was the Bills, I probably would have abstained too, because it's just like, well, what are we gonna do? We're gonna vote. We're gonna support them just for a chance to maybe have to play. Like, just like, hey, we'll just stay out of this, and that probably helps us anyway.
Yeah. Because I mean, like this is really going to be interesting, won't it? However, it plays out with
Adam Schefter is reporting he woke up and said, "How'd the coin flip go?" First words.
Did you see? I'm glad you brought that up. Did you see, Brano, that Schefter literally tweeted out? Did you see this tweet? Damar Hamlin has been added to the IR.
Oh yeah,
dude. This to me proves our discussion that we've had multiple times that he is not a human; he's a robot. Like he's not computing real world intelligent, like emotion, and his AI brain is just saying, okay, Hamlin's clearly out. I need to tweet that he's been added to the injury reserve list for the rest of the season. Why would he tweet that out?
I don't know. I
mean,
like, in the end, all the things, no. I think he thinks, well, that happened, and I report all the things. Plus, I'll get a bunch of retweets and a bunch
people
of
mad.
He clout chases. He's always been one. Like Schefter, for all the good reporting he does, will always throw the random tweet in there with his opinion involved, and you're like, bro, no one needs your opinion. You're a robot. You're a robot on the spectrum.
Yeah. I know. I just was like, what is he doing, man? I don't know. It's a fun week. The first week of NFL playoffs is always a lot of fun.
Super wild card weekend.
It is. But before we get to that, I can't believe we're going to do this. We're going to talk college football.
Wow.
National championship.
Said we're going to talk, and you started with, I thought for sure you were going to give me Carlos Correa. I guess you guys will have to tune into a Dirty Slides podcast.
You can fill me in on the Carlos Correa thing right now. Fill me in.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Ankle.
I know he's going to the Twins.
The same ankle problem that scared the Giants off, apparently scared the Mets off.
So it's real.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's real. The issue of he's been playing, like, apparently this is an older ankle injury, but there is, and it was a couple weeks ago. I think it maybe was prior to him signing with the Mets or just after. Obviously not sign. He didn't sign, but after the report. It was either right before or right after the reported deal with the Mets that we got video from this season when he supposedly slid into second and re-injured said ankle. Now, I think he probably played I mean, I don't know. I'm not, he's not a Met anymore, so I don't care. But like, I don't know how many games he missed for that ankle after that.
Was he officially a Met?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Or if he played on it because he knew, again, he was betting on himself and he was like, this is a contract year. I'm just going to have to fight through it. But, there was the initial reaction to Mets as a Met fan is like, it's not our money and I don't give a shit. So like if Carlos Correa comes and his ankle falls off and then we got to go pay Manny Machado next offseason, who cares? Steve Cohen has an $80 billion statue in his front yard or whatever, $80 million statue in his front yard. Like money's not real to him. So I was never really worried about whether or not Carlos Correa's ankle was healthy or not healthy. And in fact, it was kind of annoying because obviously I was very upset at hiding behind the quote unquote injury history of Jacob deGrom as the reason not to sign him for 5 years. And then you go and sign Correa for 13. But again, not my money. I think they should have signed both of them and given them all the monies in the world, because what are we talking about here? But obviously the Mets swooped in knowing there was concerns about an ankle, did a deal knowing there was concerns about an ankle, backed out of the deal after seeing the actual ankle. So I guess it's more severe than, well, I guess it's exactly as severe as the Giants thought it was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you have two organizations
And then I saw the Mets still willing to sign him. And they offered him not the money that the Twins offered him, but again, it's New York. So I don't think it was a matter of money. The rumor that I heard was there was also you have to pass a physical like every year on this ankle.
So why are the Twins paying him is the question.
They hope he's healthy and they're getting a discount based on his market value. And yeah, he was there last year. He played well. His ankle was supposedly injured before that. They saw it. They have team doctors who worked with him the whole year, I guess. And they finally were, and then his price came down to a point where they could finally afford it. And that's been baseball talk on the Dirty Sports Podcast.
I'm trying to work a Kirk Cousins, Carlos Correa connection here.
Don't hurt your brain. Don't hurt your brain.
Both playing for Minnesota teams. By the way, I think a place I would love to go is the stadium the Vikings playing.
By the way, I did last week. When I was in New York, I'm jet lagged. You're drinking a lot. I woke up in my sister's basement. I had no idea where I was because I had been drinking. And my sister came down. I was scared. I just said, "Did the Mets sign Correa? Did they sign him?" She said, "Do you even know where you are?" I was like, "We'll get to that." What is Correa's status?
What I was about to say, because I'm going to connect this to college football, was the Viking Stadium, US Bank Stadium looks amazing. Like it looks pretty awesome to see a game because it makes me think of what happened at SoFi during the national championship game.
Yeah.
Which Tug had alluded to.
And it's weird because
how does this happen?
I've been to SoFi 3 or 4 times now. To me, it still feels like it's like you still kind of feel like it's an indoor stadium, but I guess the fact that it was open and it was windy, like it's coming in from the side.
Yeah, but it's not just that. So for anybody who saw, there was water issues in the stadium during the national championship game where multiple people had to be taken out in stretchers or ambulances because they fell. But I was reading underneath the comments. This is what's concerning. Underneath the comments, people were like, "Yo, I'm a Chargers season ticket holder, blah, blah, blah game this year." There was leaking. Like, is the roof not good?
Yeah, that's wild.
And I'm thinking, this is the most expensive stadium in the history of the world. And again, at least from the comments, people were like, this isn't a one-off, wild, crazy, rainy, windy weather day. They've had issues, which you think, how the hell does this happen?
Meanwhile, the quarterback of Georgia was like, "I remember back in 46, we had a rainstorm like this." I did not watch, shocker, the national championship game. At one point, I tuned in and I was like, 52, whatever. I'm like, okay, goodbye. Like, I literally was like, it was 52. I think it was the third quarter or something. I tuned in. It was like way over. And I don't care about college football. As we know, it's a fucking, as far as shams go, there's no bigger sham than fucking college sports in general, but definitely college football. So I didn't even know this. Then a friend sent me, knowing we have a sports show, sent me this Mike Mad Dog Russo, Chris Russo, somebody from fucking somebody in New York in the Post. There was an article about how ridiculous it is that the quarterback of Georgia is 25. I didn't even know this. This is 25? What's happening here?
Yeah, Stetson Bennett's 25. He's 25 years old. I knew
people
that.
Take college football seriously?
I knew he was 25. Do you know his whole story? He was a JUCO, then a walk-on.
To steal one from the late great Jay Cutler. Don't care.
So it's a pretty interesting story, but he's also, if you look at his age.
Because I sent you the thing, like the far more fascinating football story to me than anything happened in college football. If you look at the ages of the AFC playoff team quarterbacks this year.
Dude, where is that? I'm trying to pull that up.
I sent it to you in a text message. But I mean, when we talk about the tweet I put up and the replies that I got from people, I mean, absurd. So here it is. The oldest quarterback in the AFC playoffs is Patrick Mahomes at 27. Then you got Allen, Burrow, Lamar at 26. Then you got Tua and Herbert at 24 and Trevor Lawrence at 23. 23 to 27 years old. Every quarterback in the AFC playoffs is between 23 and 27. And we talked about the dysfunction of quarterbacks on the NFC side. And obviously, I don't know how old Tyler Huntley is, but that's Lamar Jackson as the starting quarterback of the Ravens.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. I put it on. I was cooking and I put it on.
Can you imagine that those guys are middle of the pack? Like a middle of the pack age for the AFC playoff quarterbacks is the guy who started for Georgia.
Well, here's the thing. Like, he's not going to be. I don't know. Does anybody even put him on a team? Like, I wouldn't, because
of course not.
He's just one of those, like, you're tossing the ball.
Maybe he'll be a 6th rounder or whatever, and we've seen guys like him before. I mean, Winky got drafted.
Winky, yeah. So was that a Browns draft pick?
I think it was a
Panthers.
Yeah.
Take me through that game room or that the war room.
But they didn't draft him high. It wasn't like a 1st rounder, I don't think.
I think Winky. Dude, guess how old Winky is right now?
41.
He's 50.
What? That's wild.
Okay.
I was like, he's younger than me.
Fair enough. He was a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
To Carolina. He's a coach. So this is my thoughts on it. I put the game on. I'm cooking. It's background noise. Right away, it was already 31-7. Second quarter. I actually had on McAfee's cast, which is like the version of the Manning cast. It's just not watchable. The game. I'm not talking about McAfee. I'm talking about the game. It's like, guys, this is not good. It's not good when there's this much disparity. So I went and I looked up because I had to.
Listen, I mocked Kirk Cousins stands. I've mocked, I don't know, Kobe. Like, I've mocked a lot of people on this show. No one to me is more misinformed than people who are like, college football is better than the NFL.
Well, they're just stupid.
Like, who are you people?
Well, here's who they are.
They live in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
But not just that. I'm not even going to call them stupid. It's just people who are. Dude, I literally just had this discussion with somebody. I had the exact same discussion. Somebody asked me about the game, and I said, I don't really watch it. You know, I said football, professional football is just the best. And somebody was like, I like college better. And I said, okay, well, you know, that's fine. And no one's going to argue tailgating and the environment and like the fanfare.
Yeah, but that's not football.
Exactly. Of being on a college campus. Like, I love going to, I've been to a lot of cool stadiums. Like, it's cool. I've been to the Big House. I've been to, the Horseshoe. It's like, I've been to a lot of different SEC games. It's like, I've been to a lot of stadiums. I've been to the Grove. I saw Eli play. It's like, those are all cool, but let's talk about the actual game. So I looked it up. There's been 9 college football championships since they went to this playoff format. 9. The average scoring margin, the average victor, this is the average, wins by 20 points.
Yeah.
So 3 touchdowns. So my argument to anybody who's diehard college football, I'd say.
By the way, can we just talk about one thing? Because I don't care about college football at all. But when I did used to root for it, I rooted for Notre Dame. Can you imagine if Notre Dame had lost by that score? Can you imagine? Can you imagine what would be happening on the fucking first takes and the around the horns and the whatevers the next day if Notre Dame went into that championship game and lost 65-6 or whatever the fuck it was, 62-6? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? We would have seen heads exploding on ESPN. Just actual blood, eyes popping out, blood streaming down faces, guts and spinal columns being swept off of sets. And there's like, well, TCU is outmatched. Just imagine Notre Dame losing that game like that.
I'd actually enjoy that. I'm not a big Notre Dame guy.
I know, but I'm saying that my point is that college football is immensely broken. And what happens is people love to focus on when Notre Dame gets there or whatever, like, this is what's wrong. They should be in a conference. Fuck, no more putting them in the playoff. No more putting them in. Well, the bottom line is it's all a fucking sham.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just, I'll say this, guys. If we're going to do this comparison, imagine if the Super Bowl this year was 65-7. Just think about that for a moment. Now, I know there have been some big blowouts. As a child, I'll never forget the Denver Niners one.
Yeah.
What was it, like 55-10?
Yeah. And then there was Niners, Chargers. And then there's a lot of them.
There was some Bills, Cowboys.
But I put that tweet out. The other day, and some guy wrote, yeah, NFL, no blowouts ever. The biggest loss in the NFL this year is like 21 points or something like that, or 30 points. I think it's 27 points, something like this game is 20 points higher than this blowout was 20 points larger than the biggest blowout in the NFL the whole year.
Now, people are going to counter and say the 2 semifinal games were great. That's what they're going to counter to you.
Cool story, bro. So the TCU Michigan matchup was just a good game to see who gets to get nutted on by Georgia.
Yeah, it's broken, man.
Super conferences and whatever. It's like, cool. Just then play the SEC. Call the SEC the Premier League and everything else the fucking undercards.
I was thinking about LA, obviously, with the game being there. It always makes me laugh when I lived there, when these college games in the college towns would come in. It's the equivalent of like Encino Man or somebody who's been frozen. Like when you see, I just kept thinking of people from like Athens in LA. They're just looking around. And they're just, I don't know. It makes me laugh. Like every time they used to do the pep rallies at the Santa Monica Pier, and I'd be going for, my run or whatever. And then you'd see like a bunch of, like Wisconsin fans or whoever's in the Rose Bowl. And you're just like, what do you guys think of this city? Because I know you bitch about it all the time.
Oh, I mean, listen, we both lived very close to the fucking Venice Boardwalk. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I went down to the Venice Boardwalk during Rose Bowl week, and you caught these people that were clearly like doing a walk from the Santa Monica Pier to like Muscle Beach in Venice. And you got some fucking gigantic man in a Wisconsin Badgers crew neck laying in the sand, sucking on a 2-liter Coke just to try to get himself the energy to keep walking the rest of the mile and a half. You're just like, bro, let me introduce you to Bird Scooters. I don't think you're gonna make it, bro. You're sweating cheese, dude.
And we saw one of those games. Never forget.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley,
Penn State, USC.
We're gonna see a similar Saquon Barkley performance this Sunday.
Well, we alluded to it earlier in the show. I'm glad we're both got the Miller Lite gang tie-dye long sleeve shirts tonight. Looking pretty good. I think you were drinking. Were you drinking some Miller Lights at that Rose Bowl, Joe? I don't know. I'm trying to stir up the memory.
I believe I was, Andy. I mean, that was pre-sponsorship because you know me. That's the first thing I determine when I get to a stadium. Do they have Miller Lite? Is it everywhere, or do I have to go to one very specific vendor? Let's go get it.
I know for sure we packed some in my old Corolla.
Oh yeah,
and I know for sure you had like a nice 6-pack. The walk from the parking, whatever the grass field was, and you were drinking some Miller Lights. Your sports history is literally just connected with Miller Lite, like your fandom, your experiences.
And I have a very similar strategy whenever the Giants make the playoffs. I did this for the play. I have vivid memories of this when the Giants played the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl. I remember that day. I went out and got a 30-pack of Miller Lite. I started in the middle of the day, and I said, I'm just going to take it nice and easy the whole day, and I'm just going to keep drinking Miller Lite until I either go to sleep because we're getting blown out or we win the Super Bowl. And there's a lot of moments in that game, huge moments, where I screamed. I did not clap. I screamed because I could not clap. I was holding a Miller Lite in one hand. And I will be doing that here on Saturday for playoff games, here on Sunday for my Giants game. Obviously, I'll be joining Randy Ruther at a watch party. If they don't have Miller Lite, I'll be smuggling it in. Just the way it goes.
Well, it's the original light beer and still the best one, as both Joe and I know. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
I'll tell you why I'm really rooting for a Giants victory this week, almost more than anything. Because next week, I'll be at the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas. And all I want to do is go to a Vegas sports book with Miller Lights and watch a second-round Giants game. Let's go. Next week, Comedy Cellar, Las Vegas. Following week, Dead Crow Comedy Club, Wilmington, North Carolina. Get your tickets now.
Look at that plug, people.
If you go onto my Instagram, I've added a highlights. It's a calendar. It says dates. You can click on it. I have all my upcoming dates there with links to tickets. Go there and get some tickets. They serve Miller Lite at the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas, Andy.
Let's go, as you would say.
Oh.
That'd be nice. Get to Vegas for a week. Yeah. Although we've discussed that. It's a week's a lot.
It's too long. But it's a very special trip to Vegas. So I go down on Monday, and I'm there Monday to Monday, essentially, because we have shows Sunday night. So I'll fly out the following Monday. My mom's coming to town. My mom, big gambler. Anybody who knows Ann Prano knows, big gambler, loves to gamble.
What's her game of choice?
A lot of slots. Slots is for sure her game of choice, and then she does a lot of like the preset card games, like Let It Ride or like 3-card. I think Let It Ride's her card game of choice. Big slot lady. Like when I used to go to casinos that she would go to, she'd draw me a map. Like it was like I was sitting in that. I was like I was like one of the Goonies. I'd have to follow a map to her favorite slot machines and play it for her. So she's coming to town, and she'll be in Vegas Thursday. She leaves Sunday. So I'm also hoping for a Saturday Giants round 2 game. But yeah, mom coming to town.
Have you done Vegas with your mom?
Never. She's the kind of gambler who, Caesars is sending her to Vegas. She's staying for free. Caesar's like, your son's in Vegas. You want to go to Vegas? We got you.
She's legit then. And she definitely likes to gamble if they're comping her.
She's staying at Paris. They gave her a choice of 9 hotels. She chose Paris. I said, I hate French people, but that's, do you, mom?
She chose Paris over Caesars.
Yeah, I think she'd stayed there once before and she liked it. She's a creature of habit. She probably
Yeah.
won the last. She probably won the last time she was there, and she was like, "I'm running it back."
I always, when I think of Paris, I think of, so like it's one of those casinos where the ceiling is painted like a sky.
Yeah.
You've been in Paris, right?
Yeah.
So it's it's classic. We don't want you to have a clue what time of day it is.
Yeah.
And they got this giant round bar by a bunch of the games, and that was one of, not all the time, but that was one that my friends and I, we'd find our way there when we all lived in Vegas, blacked out drunk. And you're right, you'd be sitting around that bar, you'd be looking up, going to the bathroom, you're like, oh, it's like light out, and then you're clueless, and then you have no clue what time of day it is, and then you walk out and you're like, cool, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I remember being at the Paris one time, and I was lit playing craps, and I was so lit I fell down. I woke up, and I thought I was outside because it's painted like the sky. So I was like, where am I? Am I outside? And then when I realized where I was like, did I hit the hard 8?
I see what you did there. Well, that'll be good. That'll be a good little trip.
Yeah.
That'll make your week bearable.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it can get lonely.
I just got to make it to Thursday. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for these games. These first games of the NFL playoffs are always a lot of fun. I'm ready for upsets. I'm sure you saw the tweet the last 4 years. The number 6 seed is 7-1 against the number 3 seed. 7-1. What? Oh! Right. So the Giants and Ravens are the 6 seeds this year, and the Vikings and Bengals are the 3 seeds. So it'll be real interesting. But let's get through these games. Let's take a deeper dive.
6-1. How's there only been seven?
No, it's 7-1.
7-1. Wow. Okay.
Correct.
7-1.
7-1. It's pretty crazy for 4 years. Like, that's some wild consistency. So we didn't have time to discuss this. Do you feel there's controversy on our?
Well,
let's air out what our text messages were.
Here's what I want to do. Here's my approach to this. So first of all, yes, I think there was controversy.
Okay.
So I
beat you by a point.
Right. And we can talk about it, but I'll say this. So here's what I don't want to, like, the reason I reached out to you before the games.
Correct.
Is I did not want to have it say, like, I don't want to say, oh, I feel this was unfair and now I don't want to do my punishment and I lose the bet and whatever. That is precisely why I reached out to you. So what I will say up front is, in fact, I'll probably do it when I'm in Vegas. Probably eat some Danger Witches while I'm in Vegas. I'm in Vegas. The food's not great anyway, right? Like, I'll smash some Danger Witches. And I need a heads up on what, I don't know what we settled on. I don't know if any of the dirt balls out there have, like, did we talk about, is there something should I just eat it every single day for the week I'm in Vegas? Do I, like, I don't know.
Well, the dirt balls aren't going to like this. I'm going to keep it pretty light if that's cool. And I'm sure you want that. So I beat you by a point. I was down a point. We had 4 picks into the last week. I came up clutch. I got 3 or 4 right. Now, the controversy was the Bengals-Ravens game, which was 7 points when we made the wager.
Sunday, and I reached out to you Sunday morning when seemingly out of the blue. Like, we do a lot of stuff on this show on Thursday, and this is my issue with the controversy. It's not like it'd be unprecedented. We've had conversations before where it's like, I'll take this team, but if Baker Mayfield's starting, then I'm going to take this. And we've had thing. There was no talk that Tyler Huntley wasn't going to play the Bengals game. In fact,
maybe you just didn't see it.
In fact, now I'm wondering, and this is a separate conspiracy theory, not having anything to do with the Danger Witch bet. I'm wondering if this was this strategic on Harbaugh's? Like, now I'm like, what was this about? Like, now Huntley is healthy, but the simple fact of the matter is, I woke up on Sunday morning, and suddenly some guy whose name I still to this day do not know. What's his name? Sam Howell? Honestly, I don't know his name. Wasn't Sam Howell guy? Didn't Sam Howell start for somebody?
He started for the Washington.
Right.
That's hilarious. Sam Howell.
Some guy whose name I still do not know.
Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown. Sounds like the backup small forward on a team on a 1996 Celtics team. I woke up that morning and so here's the other thing. I just want to give the layers. So we have Jags Titans. You take Jags Titans. We get up the next day. We have 3 different games. It's even. So unless somebody's going to go 2-1 and win it, or somebody's going to be a split, whatever. So I wake up that morning.
Well, there can't be a split. You're right. Either 2-1 or somebody takes them all.
Right. Unless, of course, somebody hits the spread exactly, which we'll get to.
True.
So wake up the next morning. I loved my Vikings bet. I said that on the show. I think the Vikings,
which I re-listened to, by the way. I went back when I left.
Yeah.
You know, you're shit talking mind games, which is hilarious to me, by the way.
Yeah. So then we have the Vikings Bears game, which I felt very confident in the Vikings, coming out and getting Jeff, our guy Jeff, hyped for the playoffs because they beat the fucking Bears with Nathan Peterman starting and all the fucking Vikings fans whacking off. I saw that coming. The other 2 games, 4 and 4.5 point line swings because both teams have gone to their 3rd string quarterback. I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? Now, what I thought was,
so did the Dolphins was like unclear. We're like, who's playing quarterback?
Right. But the idea was, but it was, exactly. The Dolphins quarterback was up in the air, as was the Jets.
Correct.
So that swung, which is why when I reached out to you, I said, I don't even give a shit about the Jets. It's like Flacco or Mike White. Like, I actually don't think there's a big difference. I wasn't worried about, oh man, I'm getting screwed by Mike White and, it's going to be Skylar Thompson and Joe Flacco and not like, come on, what are we talking about here? So I was like, let's just not even talk about that.
And that's how that game played out last second.
Even though it swung. Yeah. But I said, this is insane. I don't even know the guy's name who's starting for the Ravens. I am not asking for an unprecedented, I don't want the Ravens anymore, or this game should be null and void. I said, and I texted it to you. I said, I'm making a written petition here for you to move the line to what it's moved to, 11. And I said to you, I will still take the Ravens, and I still think I'm going to lose because I don't know who the fucking guy who's playing quarterback is. We're now at the 3rd string. Tyler Huntley was scoring 12 points a game, as you pointed out. But now I got to fucking go with, what's his name?
Anthony Brown.
Anthony Brown. So I was just like, I'm ready. I'm making a written petition to move the game to 11. You denied my petition.
I did. So this was my rebuttal.
As a independent commissioner of the league.
So this
is denied. In fact, what you did is you went into a 3-man weave until kickoff happened, and then you were like, it's out of my hands. You just went ball hold.
So this is what I did. This is my response. This was my thought process. When we made that bet, it was 7 points. We knew Lamar Jackson wasn't going to play.
Right. And 2 points that I said, like, if we had woken up that morning and Lamar Jackson was going to play and it went down to 3, I would have been like, you're right. Let's adjust the line to 3.
Yeah, but no, here's the thing.
And now let me ask you something. What if you woke up that morning and Joe Burrow was out and it was Tyler Huntley against Anthony Brown or whoever the fucking Joe Burrow person is, and suddenly I have the Ravens +7 against the Bengals and a backup QB?
Well, I would say, which I did say in text, I'd say the same thing I told you, is like, you and I have been fucked over on ourselves many times in the past in the final week because it's like you don't know what's going to happen. Who's going to play? Who's going to start? Even in your Vikings game, they yanked Kirk Cousins. Did I peek up a little? Go, okay, Nick Mullins? Are the Bears going to make a push in this second half?
But the Bears, the Vikings, the difference between the Vikings situation or even the or like whatever is the Bengals and the Ravens were playing for the division still. And playing for who's getting that home field. Like we knew that was going to be a game. They didn't yank, they didn't like sit Lamar Jackson to save him for the playoffs. But
here's the thing. None of us knew, including me, you didn't watch the game. Harbaugh basically sat most of his offense. No one knew that. I mean, Joe, it was an interesting strategy and started his defense because their D played great, right? So they have a legit, really good D. And that's basically what he did was he said, okay, I don't think Dobbins is good enough. He's sitting. Okay, starting running backs out. Then the backup, forget his name, gets hurt. So now they're on the third string running back, also in the first half. He sits most of the wide receivers. It's
this is all after the fact. The fact of the matter is,
but hold on,
it happened in 2 games. I thought I was being a reasonable person on I thought I was being a reasonable person on multiple things. One, I was like, fuck the Jets game. Who gives a shit? We don't even have to talk about it. Like, I'm not even making that an issue.
But my counter,
I was like, I need to talk about this Ravens-Bengals game, which suddenly is a totally different game.
So, but here's the thing.
A totally different line. The line went up 50%.
No, but it didn't. Hold on. That's what I was trying to say over text. That line was 7 when we made the bet on Thursday. It just a day later on Friday, it was already 9.5.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit about that.
Well, that's already 2.5 points.
Yeah, but it would have come down to fucking 3 if all of a sudden Lamar Jackson got announced he was playing.
But my point is, like, lines move.
Yeah, lines move, but lines don't go up 4 points from the Thursday to a Sunday. They went up 4 points because their we're not even talking about their starting quarterback. We're talking about their backup went down. Tyler Huntley's played a bunch of games this year. That's the same thing. That's why I said Flacco's played a bunch of games this year. So
my counter again to that was this. I don't think, and I stand by this, I don't think Tyler Huntley versus Anthony Brown is that different. And that's why I gave you the stat. I go, look, man, they've averaged 12 points a game.
Well,
with Tyler Huntley.
Theoretically,
they scored more than that.
Theoretically, since we're 1 week later playing within the same 2 teams in the same stadium with the same thing on the line, it's now back to 7 because they think Tyler Huntley's going to play.
No, it's 8. It's at 8.
But it opened at 7, right?
It opened at 7. It's at 8.
Right. It opened at 7. They're back to Tyler. They weren't like it's 11 again because Tyler Huntley's the same as fucking the other dude. And honestly, that was the thing. That was what I said to you.
Actually, hold on. They announced today at Huntley's playing. It's 9.5 right now, which it was last Friday. It was 9.5. So we're back to the same 9.5.
But what I said to you, and this was, I thought me saying, listen, let's just avoid controversy anyway. I was like, I'm not waking up today. By the way, I'm going to take the Bengals this week. Right? But what I was saying was, I don't even want to start a controversy where dirtballs are going, Joe's a sore loser or whatever. He tries to bail on picking the Ravens. He tries to blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to do that. I felt that would be controversial. So what I said to you is, I still think I lose. But what I think is fair is we go to 11. You said access denied.
I did.
And then in a miracle, it actually ended on 11.
These bullshit. Yeah. So here's what I'll do.
And also, can we add one? Can I add one other thing? Anthony Brown, is that his name? I'm glad I know his name out. Was a debacle.
Yeah, he was.
Dude, he was a debacle.
You want to hear something? So he was terrible.
He's fumbling the ball in the end. Like forget this week. In that game.
Oh, he was a mess.
In that game,
Two
Tyler
picks
Huntley,
and a
you
fumble
thinking
for
he
a
loses
touchdown.
by 11, like 2 picks and a fumble directly for a touchdown.
You want to hear the craziest part? My brother. One of my brothers, he's not a gambler. Gambling just became legal here. You can fully bet in the state of Ohio, January 1st. He's doing Goldberg type bets. He's just having fun with it, like $5. So he texted me before the Bengals game. He goes, "Oh, dude, I'm out of control." And I love it. It's like Goldberg. Like, what? You're out of control. He had like 3-5. He had like Bengals covering, and he had it at 10. He did 3 things: Bengals covering. He had, I forget whoever got hurt on Baltimore rushing for a touchdown. And then he also had a Bengals defensive touchdown.
Great.
And I said, dude, here's the best part. I said to him, I go, you did you know hard? I go, that's not going to hit. You know how hard you did a Bengals defensive touchdown? I go, are you out of your mind? And then the shit happened, but he doesn't know how to gamble. Here's the best part.
Right.
He parlayed it with the Ravens running back touchdown. And I said to him, even $5, I think his payout was like, I was like, that's going to be a good payout on $5.
Yeah.
So here's what we'll do.
But hold on. But I just want to say one other thing about it. And to me, this was like, I do not believe in this Ravens team. I do not believe in Lamar Jackson in the future. I don't believe in Tyler Huntley is very good. My issue when I woke up that morning, and I think it was a reasonable issue, is I now have what could come, and I was like, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I was like, I do have what could come down to deciding 18 weeks of pickup on a guy who has never played in the NFL. We're not talking about, Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield or the fucking, Wolford or Flacco or whatever. That's why I said, listen, Joe Flacco's played games in the NFL before. I'm not gonna twist your arm about this fucking Dolphins Jets game. Joe Flacco's not a million times better than fucking or worse than Mike White. I was like, I'm going into a AFC North rivalry game with the division on the line. The guy's never stepped foot on an NFL field before. I was like, I am asking you in writing to reconsider.
Well, look, I know it sucks. I obviously didn't want to budge.
You didn't want to budge, and that's why this is what my response to you. In Vegas this week, I'm meeting Danger Witches. In Vegas this week, to keep me out of fucking gambling too much, I'm going to IKEA. And then, because you wouldn't budge, if this motherfucker isn't signed up for a women's I also gave you a fucking out on the fucking Carson Palmer jersey, and you skipped it. If this
I didn't skip it. Here's the thing.
Oh, no. That was for the fucking
I have
Buffalo
a sewing
Bills.
I have a sewing machine.
That was for Monday night Bills.
I have a mini sewing machine.
That was for Monday night Bills Bengals. You can go back and listen to that. It's Monday night Bills Bengals. I'm going to a fucking Las Vegas area IKEA. I'm gonna eat meatballs. My insides are gonna be rotting.
How long are you supposed to be in an IKEA for?
A whole from open to close minus however many plates of meatballs I eat. I'm doing it, and this motherfucker does it. Dude, I want you sitting in a fucking women's study class at the University of Cincinnati next to Anthony Brown after he's out of the NFL in 2 weeks.
Well, I was going to
Anthony Brown's going to be back in college trying to get his
Are you sure you want to
degree.
say all this? Because I was ready to extend an olive branch on everything. That's why I brought it up.
No, because here's the thing. That's why I was trying to do it beforehand, because if that happens, then it's dirt balls. Prano's a fucking Welch. He just doesn't want to fucking lose. This is bullshit. That's why I was trying to do it in advance. And then we could put out the text messages and we could put it all in the fucking and say this was discussed beforehand. There's been an adjustment to the thing. You access denied me. You key card did not work me.
No, I wrote back rebuttals and I never gave you an answer. And then the game started.
Yeah, I know you were standing at the fucking half court line, throwing the ball back and forth while the fucking shot clock ran out.
So I'm going to go back to the text right now. The last 2 texts were from me saying, well, we both deal with that all year long. Isn't that part of the deal? ? You never know what can happen with injuries. And I said, both of us have lost picks with this happening, especially in week 18. So I never really gave you an answer. And then the game started.
But you did give me an answer by not getting, and basically then you were throwing philosophical questions at me at like 12:42 Eastern. And I was like, and so that's why I said, fine, listen, I'm going to take my loss, take my L like a big boy. We'll air out how it went down. We'll air out that you fucking access denied me. I'm going to fucking spend my week in Vegas devouring danger witches from probably the fucking, Rio Hotel subway. I don't go to IKEA.
Here's the deal.
This motherfucker is going to go to a women's studies class before fucking next opening weekend kickoff.
Well, first of all,
we're gonna have real beef.
Well, first of all, this women's study thing is,
and you know what, women. Let me just say something else.
This has actually nothing to do with our football bet. You know that, right?
I think a women's study class would be good for you, all things considered, too. I think it's something that you should. I think that's something you should consider. Spending some time doing anyway. Bonus that it's going to help you out maybe in some future endeavors.
Okay. Fair point. Here's the deal. I was going to say, look, on the Danger Witch bet, I wasn't going to give you an egregious amount to eat.
Well, I don't know what we ever settled on.
We didn't settle on anything. And the dirt balls might not like this either. All I was going to say was you lost by a point. I was not going to say a week. To me, I didn't like I was. Well, I don't know.
Like I said, I don't know. Is it one a day for a week? Am I eating 7 in a row, 7 meals in a row, or 3? I was just going to suggest.
I was just going to suggest. Not even one. I was going to suggest if you could eat 3 in a day for your meals, they were good. That was what I was going to suggest heading into this day's podcast.
That doesn't even seem enough. I mean, and listen, I don't even feel like I should had. I made it clear in week 18, the morning of week 18, that I was throwing an official thing. But
are you mad at me about it? Do you think I was unreasonable?
Oh yeah, I think you. I think here's what I think happened. I
didn't trust the Bengals at all. Clearly,
I think you woke up with the Titans win, which, listen, I didn't go into ball control mode. That was a reckless bet, but it's fine. I liked it. No,
you didn't. You didn't like that bet the minute you made it.
I know, but I liked that. It's like, listen, I'm going to pick my picks. Let's bury you, But I think you woke up Sunday morning and you were like,
which, by the way, but
you were like Flacco and Anthony Brown. I got this. And then
no.
And then you got a text from me being like, yo, and you were like, oh, no. I'm already celebrating.
No, that's not true. First of all, the Titans, let's not forget who the Titans had. It's Joshua Dobbs. They made it work.
Oh, I know. I'm saying you woke up on Sunday morning after you already locked that one in. You're like, I just got to go 2 for 3 today. And then you found out I was riding with 2 third-string quarterbacks. And you were like, oh, it's in the bag.
But I still feel, and I'm not just saying this, I don't think that game is really that much different with Tyler Huntley.
With a guy who's actually played snaps in the NFL, dude, they don't even cover the 7 if he doesn't hand the ball to the defense in his own end zone.
But I think that whole game plays out differently. Like you didn't watch it. So the Bengals, basically, I've never seen this. I've never seen since the Falcons Patriots Super Bowl. The ball control, as far as they just went straight into, and everything I've read, they said was the Bengals did not want to tip any place because they knew they'd play them again, right? The Bengals literally.
And they knew they didn't have to do enough to win. They didn't have to do that much to win because they're playing a guy who never played quarterback in the NFL.
I don't know. I mean, look, we can come to a mutual agreement.
Listen, here's my and I'm going to repeat myself and then we'll let it go. But I felt like if I called you that day and I said, I want out of my Bengals pick, we have 2 games, maybe we split, you'd have been like, no, fuck you. And I would have been like, yes. If I was in your position, I'd been like, that's fair. So I thought I was actually presenting a viable option I was like, I don't want to change my pick. That would be fucked up because then there's 2 games and then we're splitting and then who knows what happens. Why don't you just make it 11? That seems fair. And you were like, that's not fair at all. Get the fuck off my phone. Fuck
so basically,
you.
we would have pushed, and then we would have taken it to the postseason,
which is insane because it ended up landing on 11. It didn't end up being. I thought I was going to lose anyway. What's insane is it ended up on 11.
Well, look, we can put some things into the dirtball's hands.
No,
but like I said, I'm not trying to kill you with this. I literally am like, dude, you eat 3 danger witches in one day. We're cool.
Nah, I think we're looking at a danger witch a day for the week I'm in Vegas. Seems like
I feel like you low key want to eat this. Like, what's going on here?
First of all, Subway is disgusting. I feel like I also had to convince you Subway is disgusting back in the day.
You did.
You used to go to that fucking Subway in Venice. I was like, what is wrong with you?
True story.
I was like, there's Windward Market across the street. You go in there and have a fucking guy make you a fresh sandwich. You're going into the fucking needle factory.
No, you
guy
showed me
clipping toenails.
You showed me the place. The one place made bomb sandwiches, not Windward Village. I mean, they've made some good ones. What was that other place?
That's what I'm saying. The one down the one right down by your taco spot down
on like South Venice Boulevard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little fucking deli that used to have the New York Post in the fucking thing.
Yeah, little like Jewish deli. Yeah, that place. That place was good.
But I was like, what are we talking about? You're going to Subway? I was like, you don't live in Ohio yet. You don't have to eat Subway.
Yet. I did see a guy when I went into the Subway once. I know I've said this. Makes me laugh every time. Straight up shaving a homeless guy. Just shaving, sitting at a table with a straight razor blade. Just shaving his face.
I think what I'll do is a week would be 7 sandwiches. I think what I'll do is I'll go to Vegas. I'll go to Subway. I'll get 7 danger witches made. And I'll just I just got to eat them before I leave.
Okay.
And it's going to be disgusting. And I'm going to feel rotten, especially since I'm going to have to pile fucking Swedish meatballs on top of that.
You're going to bang this all out in Vegas, huh?
I'm going to try. I don't know where the closest IKEA is to the Rio. But luckily, my other option is the Rio cafeteria. So it's not like a whole lot different.
Employee cafeteria?
Yeah. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah, I've eaten there, but I used to work there. They should be able to make you something. Like normally, at least when I was working, like you ask for a specific, they would whip it up.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if that's an option, but I'll find out.
I'd walk in there and be like, hey, man, I'm craving a Philly cheesesteak. Throw the guy like literally 2 singles. Okay, I'll whip that up for me. All right. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
I think the way you went in ball control mode on Sunday morning, I think you also did that on Monday's episode because we had a reasonable third party here. I think you were like, get through this episode, get back to just me and Joe. Don't have a tiebreak. Don't have a reasonable tiebreaker here for the discussion.
Oh, you think, well, first of all, Monday, we were dealing with time constraints.
Yeah.
You think Tug would have sided with you?
Yeah.
But again, and then we really we'll make picks real quick. This has happened in the past, Joe, where we've gotten to week 18.
I know, but it's happened in the past, but it's also happened. We've also had, it is not unprecedented for one person to send the other person a text about something that's changing games and be like, cool, let's adjust.
But what's the difference between this and like, not even week 18? What's the difference between this and week 12, where you and I make a wager and then we're like, fuck, this guy's playing quarterback now?
No, there is no difference, but no one's, I think the difference, I think the 2 major differences are, one, I would be open to suddenly you go from down to a guy who's never played in the NFL. If you send me that message, I'd be like, okay. And I would probably be reasonable to do it because it's week 12 and it'll all sort itself out in the wash. I think it's actually more ridiculous because we go through the whole fucking year and we come down to one game and suddenly we have 3 morning games to decide everything, and I lose.
Can I say his stat line? I gotta say his guy's stat line.
I know.
Dude, it's too bad. Anthony Brown's stat line from the Bengals game: 19 of 44 for 286 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a fumble which turned into 7 points, and sacked 4 times with a rating of 46.2. I mean, dude, it was, I'll be honest, it was one of the worst quarterback performances I've ever seen. It was bad.
Because he was going, it was an AFC North game for the division. He's never played in the NFL before. In fact, I think he is a backup small forward from the Celtics. And they were just like, well, you're athletic, get in there.
Oh, man. All right. Well, as we look ahead this week to this week's games, we'll go through them briefly because we've talked a lot about them beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Seahawks and Niners. It's at 10 points right now. It seems like we both agree the Niners win, but the Seahawks are going to cover the spread and it'll be closer than a lot of people think.
I think that this game could go. I think this game is most likely a big Niners win. Small likely Seahawks upset. I think that's a very small chance, but I don't think it's a 0% chance.
Okay.
And for that reason, like I could very confidently and happily say, oh, I'd take the Niners, but yeah, I actually think it's going to be like a close game. And that might be the victory that the Seahawks need. You know, they make the playoffs. Geno Smith, a quarterback. Everybody expects them to be the worst team in football. They make the playoffs, and then they play a close game against a team that's, way better than them. That's a victory for them.
Who passes for more yards, Geno Smith or Brock Purdy?
Geno Smith.
Well, the reason I'm asking that, I've hopped over to Prize Picks. Dirtballs, now's the time to join, especially during the playoffs. But they have all the sports, so you don't have to restrict yourself to the NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, you name it. They have it all. I'm looking on Prize Picks. The yards for Geno Smith, they're basically almost identical. It's 221.5. The yards for Brock Purdy is 220.5.
Yeah. I think they're counting on the Niners being up and running the ball down the stretch and the Seahawks being behind, and probably counting on me, like Geno, backdoor Geno, having to throw the ball down the stretch, try to make it a 1-score game late.
Yeah. No, I can see that. So right now, hop on over to Prize Picks, download it today, and play daily fantasy sports with us. Make sure you use promo code DIRTY when you sign up. As always, all first-time users that deposit and use promo code DIRTY will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100.
More than Geno, less than Brock.
Okay. I like it. All right, Chargers, Jags. Chargers are a 1.5 point favorite in Jacksonville. I really think the Chargers win this game, but I'm also like, Brandon Staley's a buffoon. So
yeah.
This is one of those games where I always say, take the points. It's the playoffs. Points are hard to come by. Are you going to go for it on 4th down and 5 at your own 25?
Yeah. And so is Peterson.
True.
They're their good qualities are matched by their bad qualities. Like they're very similar and like a reckless, like, why are you doing this? Yeah. Hopefully for Brandon Staley's case that he doesn't get himself in one of those situations. I'm going to take the Chargers to win and cover, but like, I actually think this is the game. I'm in a playoff bracket, and this game is giving me the most trouble.
Interesting.
Because you go west to east. Staley's a question mark. I feel like it's going to be a close game. I feel like it's going to be a field goal game at the end.
I think the Chargers win, but I don't have much faith just in them because of their coach. But I still think the Chargers win, and I think obviously they cover. I think Herbert can throw for a lot of yards this game. I think he's going to throw for a lot.
And really, it's a matter of this game does kind of come down to the Chargers defense, right? If the Chargers defense locks them up, like I think the Chargers are going to be able to score a reasonable amount of points. It might not be a super high scoring game, but I feel like the Chargers are scoring in the 20s, and I think this game comes down to how well does the Chargers defense play.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So if you're Brandon Staley, don't put your defense backs against the wall with dumb shit.
Yeah, agreed. Now, Sunday, we have 3 games. This first one is just like Dolphins. It's just not good. Let's talk about a line that's moved. Dolphins are now 13.5-point underdogs. Tua's still out. Bridgewater's out. Skylar Thompson, who led them,
horrific last week.
Horrific.
Yeah.
This game's a blowout.
Yeah.
Just straight up blowout.
Yeah.
Bills are going to wax them.
13.5, not enough.
I agree. It's going to be just a bloodbath.
Yeah. Especially in Buffalo.
Yeah. Now your Giants.
Here we go.
Coming in at 3-point dogs. Do you think the Giants win, or like what
money line pick of the week?
Oh, there it is.
I mean, here's the thing. I'm a Giants fan and a Giants stan and a Giants homer. Okay. But I have had the Giants haven't won a playoff game since they won the Super Bowl. Last Giants playoff win is a Super Bowl win. Last Giants playoff appearance was after Boatgate. Now we have First Class Gate with Odell, not on the team anymore, but through the years, as much as a Giants stan and homer I am, I will tell you, can ask anybody who fucking knows me. I didn't think we were winning the 18-1 game. And I barely believed we were even. I was like, there's no way we do it twice in the Super Bowls. I didn't think we were winning when we went to San Francisco in the NFC Championship game in 2012. I didn't think we were winning. Like, there's a lot of games that I didn't think we were winning. This is the most calm I've ever been playoff week of a Giants game. And it's not because I think that we're going to win, but I think that, we played right there with them. They don't have a defense. Daboll's a better coach. He's getting a second shot. It feels very the 18-1 Super Bowl. The thing about that, and obviously we're talking about different coach, different players, everything. But what people forget about that is, like, we played the Patriots real close in the final week of the season, and that's what gave. And every Giants player talks about it. That's what gave them the thought that they could do it. You play them real close on Christmas Eve. You take a 61-yard miracle. You have and the only reason they got that kick is because of the fucking screen pass. I just think the Giants, Wink Martindale and the Giants, learn a lesson from letting Justin Jefferson bail out Kirk Cousins. They're healthier. Adoree Jackson hopefully going to play. Pass rush healthier. Saquon rested. I think the Giants win the game.
I think this is a really important game for Kirk Cousins, like career-wise, trajectory. I know he's already in his 11th season. I just think you got to win this game, man.
But let me ask you something. If Kirk Cousins wins this game,
no, it doesn't change anything how I feel about him.
And then they lose the next game.
No, it doesn't change anything.
So trajectory wise, like you're saying, it would just it basically
it just fit.
If he doesn't win this game,
yes,
it's over.
Well,
then it's like this is everybody that's a hater has been proven right.
Well, that's all I'm saying. I think, like, you're now in the position, from my viewpoint, of, dude, you have to win this game. You're at home. Your team won 13 games. You, like, have to win this game. Now, if he wins this and then they lose the next game, is my opinion changed? No, I'm going to stay where I'm at. But if they lose,
this game, suddenly you're me.
I mean, I'm already pretty close to that. Like, I just don't think he's that guy. to me, he's Andy Dalton, but better. He's a shinier version of Andy Dalton. When he gets nice weapons, he can put up some great numbers. I'm leaning towards the Giants. I think the Giants will probably win this game.
And you hate saying that.
Well, I've been leaning towards them. I just think if this game gets into
now, let me ask you something.
Ball
Andy.
Control and defense matters, man, in the playoffs.
Let me ask you something. For the fucking lunatic Vikings fans out there, the Vikings are 13-4. The Giants are barely a playoff team. They're 9-7-1. Since I am a Giants homer, unreasonable, you're a fucking clown for believing in Daniel Jones, and you're a fucking loser, and you're fucking weird. You hate Kirk Cousins. He lives in your fucking head. What's your excuse? You're not any of those things. Tug comes on the show on Monday, trashes the Vikings. You're here trashing the Vikings. They're 13-4.
I'm not trashing them. I just don't think that they're going to do anything.
You just think their defense is bad and their quarterback is suspect.
Yeah, their defense is a liability. Their quarterback is a liability come playoffs. And also, now personally, there were a lot of Vikings people on Twitter when I was having fun on the Colts game. Now, yeah, do I have those people in the back of my head? For sure, who were coming so hot over me, again, having fun with tweets. You don't have to ride or die with your guy. I don't know why people feel that way.
Meanwhile, the Giants just played the Colts a couple weeks ago. They don't have the kind of defense that would even be down 30 points or whatever the fuck it was to the Colts, because the Colts fucking stink and the Giants have a good defense.
Yeah. So the Sunday night game,
I predict Kirk Cousins 3-pick performance, standing in the locker room after trying to get his wide receivers to dress him up like a fucking troll doll. And they're like, bro, not the time, dude. We made fun of you on the airplane a couple days. We just lost. Now's not the time for fucking like, hey, make me look like a fucking clown again. What's the matter, guys? You don't like that? I thought we were all friends. They're like, we were friends when you were good.
I think it'll be a great game, though.
I do too. I think, honestly, I think it's a coin flip, but I have confidence because of all the things, for the same reasons you do. It's the playoffs. Defense matters.
Here's your prize pick play.
Running the ball matters.
Saquon Barkley, 99.5 rushing plus receiving yards. More than. That's your play right there.
Yeah, because he's going to get the ball. The Giants are going to be up with 4 minutes to go. And Saquon's going to put it on ice. The Giants are vaccinated against mediocre quarterbacks.
Unbelievable. Okay.
Go pray about it. Go pray about it in your super church on Sunday, Vikings fans.
We're back to Ravens Bengals. It's a Sunday night game. Old Chris Collinsworth not going to have to go too far. Just going to hop in his vehicle. It's a little house on the hill. Drive to downtown. 9.5 points. So it's. I mean, I think this is a trap. I don't know. I just keep thinking this is a trap game, man.
I thought the last one was a trap game, and now I think the Bengals blow them out. I think the last one was
Ravens D is legit.
Yeah.
I do love what Burrow said this week about his window. I do love that.
What did he say about his window?
Porter asked him, like, basically like, dude, this is the window. All these guys, as we talked about. And his response was, my window is as long as I'm playing to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It wasn't like cocky. It was just like, dude, I'm this confident. Like, my window is me playing. That's my window. as long as I'm in the NFL to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Cool story. Take a team friendly deal. And then your windows as long as you're in the league.
Dude, Mahomes, he didn't take a team friendly deal.
I know. You got the Chiefs in the Super Bowl this year.
I don't.
Me either.
I don't think the Bengals cover the spread. I think they win. I think it's gonna be a lot closer than people think. Now, who knows? Me going to this game has a lot of repercussions. We've all discussed the curse.
Agreed.
Like, there's a lot of factors in here. They got waxed the last playoff game I was there. Just saying. In fact,
a whole new world.
I don't know the last time I saw them winning in person.
A new head coach you'll apologize to.
What are you talking about?
Zach Taylor is going to make you apologize to him at a youth basketball game. Because I think he comes out and I think everybody's like, oh, Harbaugh. I know you've softened.
I've softened on Taylor.
I know.
I've softened on him. And again, like I said, I think how he handled, like, dude, you win a lot of points for me, how the whole Damar Hamlin thing was handled by Zach Taylor. You win a lot of points. And also that you said, hey, I'm just going to run Joe Burrow's offense from college. Like, you changed. I'm not going to knock you for that. You changed, and it's showing. Now, do I want a second round with his fifth grade son? Yeah. And we will see them later this year in league play. And I hope he doesn't destroy our team again, because this kid can play. Anyway, I think the Bengals win. I think it's closer than expected. I hope it's not. Just for the vibe's sake of that stadium. So I'll be there. Like I said, me and Jay Lloyd, we'll be there together. So fingers crossed, nothing happens crazy. Because that was wild the last time we were there. All right, your final game, Bucks, Cowboys. It's in Tampa. Cowboys are still 2.5-point favorites. This is a toss-up game. Brady's never lost, as we know, to the Cowboys. He's 7-0. I think he loses this game.
Me too. I think this game could be close because of Dak. I saw a stat about Dak. I think Dak has the highest interception percentage in the league. I don't, because of Dak and Dak's picks, I don't have the Cowboys going far. But I think they win this game. It being in Tampa is a game changer. And Tom Brady, like if we wake up Tuesday morning, they're like, he's done it again. No one's gonna be fucking surprised. But and listen, make no mistake. For people who are, I know Maddie goes there. You fucking hate Brady. I'll be wearing a Brady jersey on Monday. Fucking, I will be rooting. I'll be screaming at the TV for the Cowboys to lose. But
I'm rooting for Brady, of course, and the Bucks. It's been a tough year for Tom. Come on.
Yeah. Listen, I hate Brady. I'm rooting for Giselle in the divorce proceedings. You know what I mean? But like, I'm rooting for Brady versus the Cowboys. Fuck the Cowboys. But I think the Cowboys win this game. And then I think the Cowboys lose to whoever they play next.
But if the Cowboys win, they would play the Eagles.
Correct. Unless the Giants win.
Correct.
Unless the Seahawks win.
Correct. I jumped way too ahead of myself.
But I don't think the Seahawks win. But I do think the Giants win. I think you'll get a Cowboys-Niners game. And then it's goodbye.
There's going to be a crazy upset this week. I just feel it in the
And
NFC.
and that's not our game because that wouldn't be crazy.
I think there's going to be a crazy upset. Somebody's going to get upset. Somebody's going to get upset. Out of all these games, somebody's going to get upset. They're not going to expect like a 7-point or bigger spread. It's going to happen. All right, Joe. We got through it.
Come see me in Vegas next week. Comedy Cellar Las Vegas at the Rio. 2 shows every night, Monday through Sunday. Pretty fantastic lineups. You get long sets from everybody. So if you're in Vegas, hit me up. If you want to go get some sandwiches at Subway, hit me up. If you want to play some golf, hit me up. I haven't decided if I'm bringing my clubs or not yet. So if you're thinking maybe you want to play some golf with me, it looks like it's going to be pretty cold there. But if you think you might want to play some golf, maybe Monday to Thursday or Monday to Wednesday, hit me up. Let's do it. Maybe I'll bring my clubs. Wilmington, North Carolina, Dead Crow Comedy Room. Such a great room. Honestly, one of my favorite rooms in all of comedy. Wilmington, North Carolina, headlining 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. That's the 27th and 28th. If you are out there and you're a dirtball right now, please buy your tickets, slide in my DMs, come out. I'm doing an hour. It's going to be a great weekend. And then the weekend after that, Sketchfest in San Francisco. A couple shows, hosting a fun variety show, and then doing a set on another show. If you're in the Bay Area, come to that. All of my dates on my Instagram at Joe Prano. There's a highlight called dates. Check that out. Website has been fixed, joeprano.com/shows, at Joe Prano on all social media except for Twitter, where I'm at Fix Your Life.
All right. I got a calzone waiting for me, which I can't wait to crush. I got his personalized New York Giants mug. All right, guys, that's the show. Thanks for listening.
This will be full of Miller Lites.
That's right. Send us some Instagram stories drinking Miller Lites.
Yeah, send us some Instagram stories celebrating Kirk Cousins being a fraud with your Miller Lite. Celebrating Kirk Cousins fraudism with a crisp cold Miller Lite.
Perfect. All right, guys, that's the show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. And as always, stay dirty.